Hey guys, it's CJ, and we are back with another episode review of Love After Lockup. And tonight we'll be talking about season 3, episode 11, Up in Old Flames. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, this episode opens up where it left off last week with Sarah at the therapist, and she storms out and she goes into the car and she makes a phone call, but we find out that she calls Michael and she's just telling him to calm her down. Like, he can calm her down, but she is going on and on about how upset Michael has made her. And Malcolm is trying to be supportive, and he's just kind of telling her, it'll be okay. You can't let this bring you down. Just trying to say whatever to calm her down as she asked him to do. So then she goes back inside, or the therapist comes out to get her, or a producer or somebody, but she goes back inside and she just decides that she wants to talk to the therapist alone with no cameras or mics. So then we go to Lacey and Shane. They're recording by phone again because they're kind of going, the virus has now made its way to Virginia Beach or wherever they are also. And they're up early in the morning because Lacey is going to have an embryo transferred into her body so that she and Shane can have a baby. And COVID is preventing him from being able to be inside, so he's a little bummed about that. But he's excited nonetheless that Lacey could possibly be implanted with their children or child. So they're expressing concern because she says that this process from start to finish can cost up to 25 grand. So therefore they can only do it once. So if it doesn't take this time, then he may not get his children from Lacey as he wanted. But they go in and she is saying that she wants this for Shane. And now she already has, I believe, 2 or 3 other children. But she's saying that she wants this for Shane. And Lacey doesn't necessarily want to have any more children. And just kind of looking at the interaction that I see, I don't really see her interacting with the children as much. I see Shane, like, he's heavily involved from what I see. Y'all remember he built the trampoline last season. And this season, he's helping out with homework. He's doing things that dads do. And I know he's young, but I think that he may be a decent father. But we'll have to wait and find out. But she tells him when they get in the car after the procedure that she actually had 2 embryos implanted and there's a possibility that they could have twins. That kind of freaks Shane out just a tad bit because he already knows that he's going to have to work extra hard now because they're going to have at least 1 new mouth to feed, possibly 2. So he says that, he just knows he has to work harder to be able to support Lacey and his family. Then we go to Brittany. Brittany and her sister are in the car. They left the babies and the kids with Marcelino, and they go and try to find her mom. Brittany is expressing her disappointment because mom is a known addict. Mom is a recovering addict who she is afraid has fallen off the wagon since she has to do virtual meetings now versus the in-person AA meetings that they used to go to. But they drive around and it looks like they make it to the house, to the apartment that the sister and the mom share together. And Brittany on the way there is just telling the sister that, okay, we have exhausted all of our options. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to handle mom. So I'm thinking what we need to do is take you out of the house and let her kind of fall on her face. And when she hits rock bottom, she won't have a choice but want to change or want to make a change. because Brittany just tells us that she's not going to allow her children to be around her mother, which is their grandmother, if she does not get her act together. So then we go over to Angela and we get to see Tommy. And it's always good to see Tommy. Tommy is a very dear friend to Angela and probably is, next to Donna Faye, the only voice of reasons that she has around her. But he does come by and he brings her a gift that he made for her, which I thought was so sweet. And we know that Tommy is still head over heels for Angela, but Angela doesn't like Tommy. Maybe if he had a prison record, she would be okay with him, but it is what it is. But she tells him about Ross. And I was confused because I thought that Tommy was her best friend. And I'm kind of shocked that he didn't really know about Ross, because he knew about Tony. And Tony came after Ross, which made me kind of wonder, when did Tommy, come in the picture? But again, Tommy is leery because Angela seems to have this thing for convicts. And he doesn't really know. He's confused. He's just about as confused as we are watching this shit, because he doesn't know what Angela is doing. Where'd you meet this guy? He just had questions, the same kind of questions that we were wondering. But Angela tells Tommy that Ross has always been in her heart. She was in love with Ross before Tony came into the picture. And then I was looking at Tommy, and it's like he looks more and more like Jerry Springer every time I see him. That's just a side note. But I was like, damn, he looks more and more like Jerry Springer to me. Did he look like that to y'all? But I think he's more of Angela's speed as far as age. He seems like he has his life together, and that's kind of what she needs. But Angela is a giver. She seems like she has that savior complex where she has to take care of somebody. She has to save them from their troubles and fall in love with them, but it never works out. So she might need to, switch gears and give our boy Tommy a try. But then we go to the West Coast and we go back over to Andrea and Lamar and the family, and everybody's sitting outside, and they appear to be having a little picnic outside, eating some wings and whatnot. So they're out there, and Andrea, she wasn't joking, but she tells them that all the food they ate before the food got blessed was going to give them corona. But everybody kind of laughed it off because they know their mama is just nuts. And she's still bringing up wanting Priscilla to be baptized, and Lamar is still against it at this point. He is just like, no, for what? What is that going to prove? And Andrea just is believing that, this is what Priscilla needs, because they're out in LA and she needs that extra protection, and she thinks that her being baptized is going to provide her with that protection. And out of nowhere, Tennyson just bust out and said that he smoked weed. He smoked weed the other day. And Andrea was like, boy, you are just crazy. Oh, he said he tried weed. I'm sorry. And she was like, yeah, right. And he's like, no, I did. And, we were with Dulo, and we, and Lamar. And so she's like, Lamar, is this true? And he was like, man, no. Lamar's trying to tell her what really went down. And I don't know why. Did Tennyson actually smoke weed? Because from what we saw, Dulo offered him the blunt and he declined. And Lamar shut it down. But at this point, Andrea's Mormon ass, she is just cussing like a sailor. Even little baby Priscilla had to tell mama to stop using the F word, because she was cussing. And she was going off, and Nyla and everybody at the table was kind of looking like, damn, he really just told her right here, when I told him to tell her somewhere in a public place. She told him to do it last week, and he waits till they at family dinner to tell her this crazy stuff. And so she jumps up and she throws the carrots and celery all in Lamar's face. Didn't even give Lamar a chance to really explain what happened, and that Tennyson is telling a damn lie. But anyway, she jumps up and she storms off, and everybody is just kind of stuck at the table, just looking crazy. So then we go back to Virginia, where we see Shane at the table helping the kids with their homework. And that was another scene that kind of showed me that Shane is good with those children and they adore him. So we know he'd be a decent father. And we haven't seen him doing all that drinking that he was doing in the previous season. So I think maybe he may, have his stuff together, which he's going to have to if he plans on being the father of a newborn. So he and Lacey go, they pee on a stick, and they didn't make us wait, which I was glad that they did not. And it turns out that, yes, Lacey is pregnant. So they're excited. They're very happy. And Shane reiterates that he does have to work extra hard, to make sure that he takes care of the family. So back in Rochester, we see Sarah. She and her friend and Malcolm, they're all getting ready for the baby's first birthday party. So Malcolm's there, that he's helping her prepare for the party. And her best friend, of course, they're sitting there bad mouthing Michael. She's telling them that she knew Michael wasn't gonna make it. She don't know why she expected for him to make it, blah, blah, blah. So everybody is just like talking crazy. And in the middle of that, Michael calls and lets Sarah know that he is in town and he's on his way. He needs her to tell him where it is. And so she's all short with him on the phone because he didn't call her days before or didn't pick up her calls days before. And so she's like, well, all right, Mike, I'll send you the address. And she hangs up on him. And so he's saying that she's trying to flex for whoever is there or whatever. And Malcolm is in the back looking shook because he knows that Michael is there now and there's some shit could possibly go down. But anyway, we go back to Lamar and Andrea. And it looks like Lamar had to sleep on the couch. Andrea wasn't having it. She was pissed off at him for allowing her son to try weed. So she made him sleep on the couch. So Nyla comes in and she's just kind of asking, well, what really happened? She's kind of wondering what really happened because Tennyson told her one thing, told her mom another thing. And so now she is kind of wanting to know Lamar's side of the story. And Lamar, tells her how it really happened. And she's like, well, you and mom just need to communicate. And he was like, it's hard to communicate with your mom. As we have seen from the previous seasons, I mean, Andrea likes to fight. Andrea is wanting stuff the way she wants it. I'm surprised, honestly, that they moved to LA because she is so bullheaded, and she even tried to kidnap Lamar to bring him to Utah where she wanted to stay. But Andrea gets up and we see her walk past. She's mad. She's not speaking to him. So he gets up and goes in the kitchen where she is, and she's cutting up like some lemons and some potatoes and some kale. I don't know. Was that potatoes? I don't know. What was she making? I don't know. But anyway, she's up and she's mad and she's basically shutting him down. And she tells him that, there are too many temptations out here in Los Angeles. And that's even more reason why Priscilla needs to be baptized, because I can't have her out here because the devil is trying to get her. And you know how Andrea starts talking. And so Lamar, to comfort his wife, he is willing to compromise, and he tells her that yes, he will allow her to get Priscilla baptized. And she says that she talked to a preacher and they can baptize her in a pool or something, and he kind of clowned that a little bit. But he also told her that he didn't know if he wanted to be a part of that because he does not believe in Black people being a part of the Mormon faith. And he has expressed that before, because we weren't allowed to be a part of that faith until I believe the 70s or something. So really that religion is new to us, but Andrea is all in and believes in it wholeheartedly. So it is what it is. Now we go back to Angela, and she's sitting on her bed reading some old letters, some old love letters and cards from Ross from when he was locked up. And then he FaceTimes her. So they're talking, or video calls her. So they're talking, and you know, she's all giddy. I mean, she is just so happy. Got her hair curled up. Angela is ready. She is ready to talk to Ross. And she tells Ross that she misses him. And he tells her that he really misses her also. And she's like, I'm ready to see you. I'm ready to see you, baby. I'm ready to see you. You know, Angela is ready. Angela, I mean, her hormones are raging. She ain't gotten any from Tony in a long time. And she already told us that she is wanting to be intimate with somebody, and Ross looks like he's gonna be that guy. But she mentioned something about why they stopped talking, and it was a childish reason to me. She had made him a book, and the book had like some pictures and stuff of them and of her, and she said it was one of the pages was like really racy. I guess she was trying to get sexy or something. And I don't guess he appreciated it the way that she thought he should appreciate it. So she got pissed off and then moved on to Tony. And that was the end of that. But I don't know. But when I was listening to Ross, it seemed like he was giving me shyster vibes too. I mean, and I'm not saying that just because he was in jail too, but just by the way that he was talking, he was a smooth talker. And I could tell that he was telling Angela back then everything that she wanted to hear in order for her to cash him out while he was in prison. Did y'all get that vibe from him, or am I just tripping? But Angela just horny anyway. And she just says that she's going to go to Indiana to see him. And that's going to be that on that. So now in New York, the party is going. The party, you know, the party goers, they start showing up. Malcolm is looking extremely uncomfortable. You know, he's trying to, you know, shake hands or whatever. Her family is just like, okay, whatever. Not impressed, not that interested in meeting him. The sister seems nice enough, but, you know, the guests are arriving, and Michael shows up. And when Michael shows up, Sarah meets him outside to talk to him. She didn't want him to come inside right away because she needed to let him know what was inside. So she tells him to hold off on getting the stuff out because I guess he brought gifts. And she just kind of tells him that she wished that he had called her back when she was trying to call him. And she also tells him about Malcolm. So Michael's like, well, I'm not here to meet a dude. I'm not about to meet a dude at my child's party. I'm here to see my kids. And so she is trying to start. And now he left it at that. I don't defend Michael just because I don't agree with a lot of Michael's ways. But Sarah just started going off. Like, she is yelling in this parking lot, trying to cause a scene. He didn't holler at her one time. She's out there, no, you're not going to come at him like that. I mean, she was sounding like, she had her black scent on. She was sounding Latina. I didn't know what was going on with Sarah, but like, she just started going off, trying to get a rise out of him. And it didn't appear to me that he came to fight or that he was going to try to fight the guy. He looked like, okay, I'm not studying him, because he probably came there on some, I'm going to see Sarah, I'm a sweet talker, I'm going to sleep with her, and she going to be my girl for a while until I find another one. That was the kind of tip that Michael was probably on. But when she told him about Malcolm, she just kind of deflated his plans a little bit. But we then go back to Brittany. They find the mom. The mom is at home. She's sitting out on the patio, and she is effed up. I mean, she got a big ass, like, scar on her nose. She's high or drunk. And Brittany asks her, you know, are you using drugs again? And she's like, no, I'm not using drugs. I mean, she was messed up. And so they're arguing with one another, and Brittany tells her, you know, I'm going to get the sister. I'm taking her to Alaska. She's going to go stay with dad, and you're going to stay here by yourself, and you're not going to come around the kids. You know, she's basically just kind of telling her that, look, we don't want to see you like this. We're not going to be around while you're like this. If you don't want to get help, we are out. And so mom gets pissed off, and mom does admit that, yeah, she did go and buy some pills. She is, you know, back on drugs. And so Brittany is arguing with her, and mom just gets up, like she's being really combative. She just gets up and she pushes. It sounds like she pushes Brittany out of the way, or she may have pushed the cameraman out of the way. We don't know, but that's where the show ended. If I forgot anything, please don't forget to drop it down in the comments. Give me your thoughts. I do like, you know, feedback, whether it be positive or negative, is fine with me. I'm open to anything as long as it's within respect. I'm not disrespectful. I don't disrespect anybody here, so don't disrespect me. Some of my other videos, I heard some pretty disrespectful stuff, but I'm not going to debate with anybody, and I'll just block you. If you don't like it, that's fine. But anyway, please don't forget to like this video. Definitely comment and subscribe to my channel for the rest of the content that I put out in the future. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.